Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Daryl Felsberg!
How are you? Good. So the pandemic's over. Y'all know that, right? Well, hang on. In Texas and in Florida, it's been over for 3.5 years. They were like, we got a virus. Like, well, we got guns. What do you want? We'll shoot it. So, now, when they first started, they called it, they said we were going to shelter in place. Remember that? And I thought, that sounds apocalyptic. Like, that's end of the world kind of shit, right? So I started, like, growing a garden, because that's what you're supposed to do during an apocalypse, is grow a garden. I don't eat vegetables, but I was going to grow a garden, right? I don't, I got chickens, because chickens make breakfast, you know? And if they don't, they become breakfast. Also, I started to hoard ammunition, because during an apocalypse, you can trade for shit with ammunition and sex. And I was gonna make it, people, come hell or high water. I'm gonna do it, right? But then they said, hey, it's a shelter in place. That sounds nice. I thought, you know what? I'll shelter in place with the family for a couple days. We'll just hang out, and that'll be nice. And my hobby is I barbecue. I'm a third-generation pitmaster. I love to smoke meats, and I know that sounded gay, but you don't know what I mean. And different meaning in Texas. Totally different meaning. So I figure I'm just going to barbecue for the family for a couple days, and that'll be fun. We'll just do that, right? The problem is I didn't know that shit was going to go on for like 6 months or whatever. So every day I'm barbecuing like brisket and sausage and turkey and chicken. I'm doing it all. My kids, after like a week and a half of eating barbecue, they were done. My son was like, Dad, no more barbecue. My heart hurts. I was like, don't be a pussy and eat your breakfast. Your brisket breakfast or whatever, you know? So I kept barbecuing and didn't know when it was going to end, and I kept gaining weight and getting fat. I got depressed because they took our work away. The entertainment industry, they just shut us down. We couldn't work. We lost it all. So I just got depressed, started drinking a lot and barbecuing, just cooking shit all the time, and just got, no, very sad. Not wow, no. I gained so much weight, it was out of hand. I hurt my knee, you know, and I called my buddy. I was on the phone. I was like, hey, man, my knee's fucked. What you got? He's like, you know what you ought to do? He said, you ought to go get some CBD oil. I was like, you mean diet dope? So I went looking for the diet dope, and I didn't go to a vape shop. I'm not going to a vape shop. I'm not going someplace where the goddamn manager shows up on a skateboard, okay? And he's got holes in his ears big enough for my dick. I'm not doing it. I'm going to go to a respectful facility where men and women have lab coats on and can give me the appropriate dosage for my body, all right? So in Texas, the most legal thing we can get is Delta 8. So they gave me this Delta 8 CBD oil, and the doctor looked at me and said, just put 1 dropperful under your tongue. I was like, yeah, okay. He's like, no, listen to me. He said, put 1 dropperful under your tongue. But at the time, I was 470 pounds. So I figured I should double dose on the diet dope. So I put 2 dropperfuls under my tongue, then I put 2 dropperfuls on my taint. Y'all never, it's a very high rate of absorbency down there. A lot of folks don't know that. So my theory was, if I drop 2 down south, up top on the 2, boom, meet in the middle, fix that shit, right? So now I'm all hopped up on the diet dope, and I'm high as a kite. My barbecuing is going to a whole nother level, right? Like, I'm making pork belly burn-ins on a regular basis now, which is, if you don't know what that is, that's a slab of bacon, not sliced, cut into cubes, 1-inch cubes. You put it in the smoker at 225 for about 3 hours, okay? Take it out, put it in a pan with 1 bottle of honey. Write this down. 1 bottle of honey, okay? 1 bottle of barbecue sauce, and then 1 bottle of Dr. Pepper, because diabetes fucking rocks, right? put it back in the smoker, let it caramelize, and they call it pig candy. And that's what I fed my family for about 5 nights in a row. So I'm looking for new ways to feed shitty food to them, apparently, over and over again. And like one day I was all drunk and high and looking in the pantry, and on the floor I found 2 potatoes. 2 rogue-ass potatoes, not in a bag. These escape. Y'all got them. Don't act like you're too good for this shit. How many sprouts are on yours? So I took those potatoes outside because I had a new use for it. So I cored them out. I took a knife and emptied them out, right? So I'm back there on the deck emptying them out. The wife and kids come home and they're looking through the window and the kids are like, "What's Dad doing?" And my wife's like, "I don't know. But stay away from him. He doesn't have his pants on." What I did with them is I cored them out, filled them full of pork belly burnt ends and cheese, wrapped them in bacon, and called them a bacon bomb, right? So now I'm looking for other vessels to stick my meat in. And we go to the grocery store in May of 2020. This is at the height of the pandemic when we are like, don't know how we got COVID, remember? And people were still walking around in spacesuits and shit. And I show up drunk and high, and I got one flip-flop on and a pair of athletic shorts and a shirt that says pink across it. That's my daughter's, so it's way too short on me. It's like a halter top. One of my titties fell out through the left armhole, had to get her back in. I go in the produce section, and there's nothing left in the produce section. You people bought it all. And my kid, there was a table that had 2 pineapples sitting on this table by themselves. And my kids said that I was so high and stupid and drunk that I stared at this table for about 2.5 minutes, not saying anything, and then out loud said, "Y'all fucked," to the pineapples. I took them home, those 2 pineapples, I cored them out, emptied them out, filled them full of pork belly burnt ends and cheese, wrapped them in bacon. My son goes, "What do you call this one?" "Swine apple." So now my weight's all ballooned up and shit's out of hand and my knee still hurts, and talking to my brother on the phone, and my brother says, "Man, you're gonna have to go get the real shit for pain relief." I was like, "You mean pot?" He goes, "Yeah, you're gonna have to go to Oklahoma to get that, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah." See, what people don't realize, unless you're from Texas, is Texas hates Oklahoma with a passion, okay, Florida? We hate Oklahoma, all right? So let me tell you this is how bad it is, okay? The best metaphor, we're mean to Oklahomans. That's what it really boils down to, all right? Just imagine this. Oklahoma is like that ugly girl in high school that nobody paid attention to, right? But then one day, that girl got a boob job called medical marijuana. Then all of a sudden, Texas was like, "What's up, Oklahoma? You're looking pretty good." So I did it. I crossed the border. I went to the Great Red North, and I got me some gummies. Look at me. I'm not going to smoke it. I'm going to eat my shit, okay? And I love candy. So I got some of these gummies. And I'm not good with numbers, but I had 7 of them. Oh, my head came the fuck off. Right? So let me just fast forward to the end of this shit. This is what caused the intervention, okay? My wife asked me to stop barbecuing, and when she would leave to go check on her parents and stuff, I would race out in the backyard and do a little cooking. One day, that bitch turned around. She caught me. She saw the smoke billowing from the backyard. She said it looked like we crowned a new pope. She came out of the backyard, and I shut the smoker. And she looked at me, and she said, "What are you cooking?" I said, "Nothing." She says, "There's nothing else, just wood. That's all there is, lady, wood. It's on fire." She said, where are your pants? I was like, she made me open it. Here it is. I hate even admitting it. This is a true story, but here we go. I was making bacon-wrapped smoked Oreos. I took a cookie that is perfectly fine by itself. I went, nah, this shit needs some bacon. So now they got me on a diet. Things are going well. Lost a bunch of weight. Got a bunch of weight more I got to lose. But now I'm allowed to have a Red Bull before I go on stage and my new Genex, and that's about it. So I'm feeling good right now. That's pretty fun. Y'all seen those commercials for new Genex? Yeah, that's a pandemic issue too. Those new Genex. The commercial came on. It was on ESPN where I saw it first. And it had Frank Thomas from the White Sox, the first baseman, the big hurt. And he comes out of the gym. These two couples see him. They go, oh, my God, that's Frank Thomas. He looks like he could still play. And Frank Thomas goes, yeah, and I can fuck your wives, too. And very aggressive commercial. And the voiceover's like, hey, do you want a big dick like Frank Thomas? I was like, yeah, I do. Then you need to dial this number to this number, and boom, you're going to get yourself some new Genex and a big dick. I'm like, okay. And I did it. And the problem is, if you take new Genex and you take pot gummies, you get explosive, violent diarrhea while having sex. So I had to choose between one or the other. And at the time, I went with pot. And now that I'm off pot, I'm getting my new Genex back. The problem is if you don't cancel the subscription, they send you a bottle every fucking month. So now I've got 31 bottles I got to finish off. So I'm taking like 11 a day right now. Basically, what I'm saying is if you guys want to see the second show, it's me in the parking lot hitting fastballs with my dick. It's going to be a good time, you know? So... Last night, TV is a problem for me. Last night we got done with the shows, and I was talked into getting some fast food that I'm not supposed to have. And we were watching TV, and I was watching the History Channel late last night, and they had a special on Genas Khan, the Mongolian crusader. Crusader is probably not the right word. He was I don't know what he was. He was a monster. But apparently, he raped so many people during his tenure of Asia that they say today that directly 1 in 5 of every Asian today is directly related to Genas Khan. I know, think of it one more time. 1 in every 5 Asians today that are alive are directly related to Genas Khan. And after I heard that, I thought, my God, now I don't feel like a racist when I say they all look alike. So I finished my Mexican pizza up. Changed the channel about 4 o'clock in the morning. I changed the channel to Comedy Central to not see myself on there, right? And did you guys know that in about, 4 in the morning, all the networks turn to infomercials? Yeah. And Comedy Central turns into Adam and Eve. Y'all know what Adam and Eve is. Okay. I wasn't exactly sure what the hell was going on. So there I am sitting with my burrito. And this young lady is selling me a rabbit vibrator on TV that does this. I can't compete with that. I don't even know what. That's what was going on. But that didn't bother me. What bothered me was she looks you square in the eye. She goes, and the good news is Adam and Eve has a 90-day no questions asked return policy. What? Are you shitting me? What do you... No. Oh, I mean, somewhere now there's a warehouse just full of experienced and used dildos and vibrators. And some poor manager's going, what the fuck am I supposed to do with all this? You can't be sitting on inventory like this. Well, I mean, you can, but that you wouldn't want to. And I thought, man, maybe they should donate them, you know? Like to a good cause. Like Toys for Twats or something like that? My manager, we were talking about they were going to video this. He said, make sure you wear black because it's very slimming when you're on stage. So I doubled up just in case. And see, they've got all these lights up here. Where down there it's nice and cool, but they've got like 18 spotlights on you. They're all like World War II anti-aircraft lights. So it's just black and sweaty and hot and nasty, all going on. The whole time while you're here, you just feel like a rotisserie chicken, like at a shitty convenience store, just waiting for a construction worker to buy you for lunch as you spin by the chimichangas just over and over again, and just doing this nonsense. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm dizzy as fuck right now. It could be the diabetes. Hang on, I don't know. Oh, is that your purse? Do you have a McGriddle in there? No? You ever had a McGriddle? What am I, Forrest fucking Whitaker? I'm looking right at you. I'm not sure why he has to get hurt in this. I don't know. You're not familiar with. Let me help her with this, okay? Let me tell you about a McGriddle lady, okay? If you're not, this is the ingredients of a McGriddle, okay? It's bacon, egg, and cheese between two pancakes, and those two pancakes are infused with syrup. Boom, there's breakfast right there. It's so goddamn good. If your tolerance level's not very high and you have one McGriddle, you go to a diabetic coma like that. If you have two, your foot comes right the fuck off. Just comes right off. I love McGriddles. I love McGriddles so much I'd put my dick in one. Call it a Dick Griddle. Dick Griddle sounds like a NASCAR driver, doesn't it? Like from the 80s, like an old dude. Dick Griddle. Racing in the Palmolive 400. I'm not sure if that's a thing or not. I'm pretty white, but not that white, you know what I mean? I do love those goddamn McGriddles. It sure is good. I've got, I love music. I love music a lot. Music takes me back in time. You know, you hear a song, it takes you back to a certain point in your life. Like I used to hang out at the bars a lot, and I would be there till closing time, you know? And when they would go to wrap everything up and close the whole thing down, they would play a song at the end of the night. Y'all remember the name of the song? Yeah. Closing Time, that's right. That's right, it was Closing Time by Semisonic. Here's what would happen. You go in the bar, okay? You order your beers, you drink your beer, then at the end of the night, they're gonna shut it down. They start playing Closing Time, and that's to trigger you, to know that the night's over, okay? They're gonna flip on the lights, and then the wait staff are gonna come around and collect your beers from you while you're drinking, little bitches, right? Then after they snake your half-drank beer from you, then you've gotta find somebody to fuck for the night. That's the sequence, okay? Song come on, lights come on, bitch steals your beer, and you find somebody to breed with, all right? That's why you gotta hurry up and chug your beer, okay? And then find someone to hump. That's the procedures, right? So it takes you, so fast forward to about 6 months ago, I'm in a Buffalo Wild Wings in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And I'm having a terrific time. I'm enjoying a 20 drumette meal. And about halfway through it, I'm watching one of 354 televisions. And they're playing music. And all of a sudden, Closing Time by Semisonic comes on. And like Pavlov's dog, something triggers in my head. And I'm like, oh shit, that bitch is gonna come by and take my wings from me. I better hurry up and chug my wings. So I start devouring my wings, just fast as I can. Unbeknownst to me, what's happening, just subconscious, just eating my wings as fast as I can, right? And this poor waitress over across the room sees me just eating like an animal all of a sudden. And she thinks something is wrong. So she's looking at me and she starts to make her way over. And then I start to panic. God damn it, here she comes. And I had to power down my wings as fast as I can. She gets to my table and she says, "Is everything okay?" I was like, "Please don't take my wings. Do you want to fuck?" That's all I could get out. That's all I could get out. The only thing I ask my kids, they don't grow up to be like me. I was very difficult for my teachers in high school. I had a social studies teacher I didn't get along with. And one day he was teaching us about surnames. So like, for example, if your last name is Baker, then your great-great-grandparents probably baked bread for a living, right? Or if your last name is Shoemaker, then your great-great-grandparents probably made shoes for a living, right? So I raised my hand, and he got quiet, and he looked at me from across the room, and he sighed. He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Sir, would you care to tell us the origin of your name, Mr. Dickinson?" What did your great-great-grandparents do to those poor boys? He got pissed off. He said, "Why don't you march down to Principal Glasscock's office and talk to him for a little bit?" I've got 2 kids. I've got a boy and a girl, okay? My son is the big one. He's the oldest. He's about 6 foot, 315 pounds. I did not get a birth certificate. I got a title and registration on his ass when he was born. He's a big old boy. Now, when my wife was carrying him, I was told that if I wanted to be a good husband and a good father, that I would be in that delivery room to experience the most beautiful thing that God could ever bestow on man, which is the miracle of birth. They's a bunch of lying motherfuckers. Let me tell you what happened to us. All right? So, oh, by the way, before I tell this story, my wife said if we were going to record it, that I am not allowed to divulge all the details from said event. If I do, I will only have half of my shit, okay? Y'all understand? So I'm going to use code phrases for certain things so I don't get in trouble, okay? Here we go. So the nurse comes in and she says, "Are you ready, Dad?" I'm like, "Let's do this." So the nurse gives me some gloves. She puts a gown on me, and then she looks at me cockeyed and puts a gown on my back because I'm fat. She clamshelled me. And she says, "Why are you naked anyway?" So, how do you think this shit got started? Full circle, bitch. So now, we go in the delivery room. We get my wife up on the bed, and we get her landing gear up. You know what I'm talking about? She's in presentation mode, and I'm down there by her south mouth. You know what I mean? Her Bombay doors. Ground zero. That's where I'm at, and I'm ready to catch a baby. I'm not sure why I'm Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden, but I'm gonna catch a baby, right? So that baby starts to make his way out. And there's something I didn't understand. Nobody warned me. Some babies, when they're born, have misshapen heads. I did not know this. So when he came out, his head to the left. Do you understand? Like if you're a golfer, a dog leg, like that, okay? A brisket, like that, whatever. That's what it's, I don't know if she just like lifted her cheek and farted at the same time or what. That baby's head was fucked. It came out like that. And I caught it. And this is exactly how I caught it, okay? When it came out. Is there another one in there? We're gonna keep this one? All right. Okay. And my wife is like, "Oh my God, let me see my precious baby boy." I'm like, "Not right now. I'm trying to gather its goddamn head up. Wait till I find it a big floppy hat, okay?" The nurse grabs the baby from me, wraps it in aluminum foil, puts it in a terrarium with wheels, and whisks that son of a bitch away. Out of sight, out of mind. I don't know where it went. Recycling, whatever, I don't know. It was gone. Now, the doctor, he's back down there, might I add. He seems to log more time down there than I do, okay? Now, in all honesty, he is doing something a little extra for Daddy. You know what I'm talking about? He's putting her Humpty Dumpty back together again, you know what I mean? Tying up some loose ends. So as he's doing that, I'm pacing the floor out of nerves, right? I am nervous as all shit out because I know what's about to happen. I'm going to be the one that's going to have to let her know that she gave birth to Gumby. I already could see it in my head that I'm going to put her in a wheelchair and I'm going to wheel her down to that aquarium with all those monster babies in it. And we're going to peer through the glass and she's going to go, which one's mine? I'm going to go, it's that one that's shaped like a chicken fucking nugget right there. The one that's chewing on the foot of that other baby, that one's yours. You have to hiss at him to stop him. So the time came. I was nervous too, man. I was like, man, because she hadn't seen it yet. You know what I mean? She hadn't seen it. She didn't know what to expect. And I was like, okay, I've got to be the good husband. I've got to think this through. I've got to prepare her, tell her the right things. Like, okay, we're going to love it, right? Or we're going to keep it. In a kennel, but we're going to keep it. Think of all the fun hats we get to buy for it, right? So I get her down there to the glass, and I look in, and I see the baby, and I'm ready to just, hold her, the whole 9 yards, And I look in, and I see the tub that has my name on it. But that baby in the tub has a perfect head. See, I didn't understand that these babies that have the fucked up heads go back together very quickly. So when I saw that baby, my heart sank. I thought, oh shit, they done swapped a mongoloid baby. I can't tell her we can't keep the good one. Then we gotta take the broken one home. I'm not gonna say shit to her. We'll just take that one. So we've been raising Jamal for about 18 years now. And that's normally when my show's over. That's when you know that the evening's over. But if I've taught you people anything today, there's only one way to know, and that's when you hear this. Closing time. Open all the doors and let... Thanks for laughing. We'll see you guys. Good night.
Daryl Felsberg.